Good afternoon, everyone. I am so glad you're here. My name is Kate Steinbacher, and I'm with the Coaches Console. One of the cool things we do is twice a year we have what we call boot camp. And boot camp is an opportunity for coaches and other service practitioners to get connected and create the business of their dreams. In other words, let's say you've been piecemealing and doing things all different ways. Boot camp helps you get everything together from soup to nuts in your business. And each time we do our big program in the fall, we have what we call our Boot Camp Extravaganza Graduation Contest. And today I want to introduce to you Nancy Southern. She is one of the winners. We had 11 winners. We had 250 people in the boot camp. And out of that, Nancy has become one of the top 11 boot campers. She worked hard to get that, and we're so excited to be here with you today, Nancy. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you, Kate. This is thrilling. It really is.
Did you ever think you would be picked as one of the top 11?
Not on your life. But when I heard it was 11, I said, there's hope, because that's my favorite number.
That's great. I love it. Well, let me ask you this. What made you sign up for the boot camp in the first place?
Well, years of frustration, really. I had been, on a shoestring budget, building my coaching practice for over 10 years now. And it was just a little of this here, a little bit of that here, and I've switched mail services. I've switched websites. I've, hired and lost several VAs over the course of those years. And so just the lack of continuity and support was really very, very stressful to my health, to my finances, and certainly to my practice itself, because I just didn't feel like I was serving my clients the way I really wanted to in terms of being able to stay in touch in a more consistent and user-friendly way.
Nice. So the promise of boot camp for you is to get you organized and everything in one place.
Absolutely. I did a thinking profile questionnaire one time, and I came out very strongly abstract random thinker. And that pretty well sums it up.
You and I must be soul sisters from someplace.
I think so too. So technology and left brain stuff just, sometimes can send me off the edge. So
I hear you.
It was a real challenge to do this, but the support was phenomenal. And
beautiful.
As an EFT practitioner, I tapped my way through it.
Good job. I love it. Hey, we got to use all the skills we have, right?
Absolutely.
So tell me about your niche. Who do you serve?
Well, they tend to be women in their midlife and in some kind of a transition. Either they're changing careers and wanting something more meaningful, or their kids are grown and gone and they're saying, now what do I do with my life? And so that really primal question, who am I, why am I here, and how do I, show up and do something of value? Because a lot of them are looking for something meaningful.
That's a tough place to be in your life. So once they work with you, what do they discover? Where are they at the end of the process with you?
Well, it's a beautiful process. It's based on ancient spiritual principles, as well as energy psychology. And so I'm really incorporating a broad range of tools and processes that help them make a real significant shift from being really good at problem solving, because that's most of our orientation, to becoming conscious creators of the life that they really want to have. And so they get that sense of understanding who they really are, what really matters to them, and can begin to take inspired action steps towards that dream and that vision.
Wow, that's beautiful. I'm sure there's lots of people that can use your help and services. And I love the combination of modalities that you're using, Nancy. That's amazing. Well, let me ask you a couple more questions about boot camp. It's called Easy Breezy Boot Camp. It's 10 webinars, 4 clinic calls. We have Monday calls. We have Wednesday calls. You have a coach. What part of this, what part or parts was most helpful to you?
Well, I did my best to participate in most everything you offered, because I'm a multidimensional learner, primarily visual and audio, but repetition is real important. And so just running it through my circuits over and over again, hearing the same thing different ways was really a necessary part of my particular learning style. And then having a coach, assigned to me that would help me stay on track and most of all, encourage me to keep going.
Who is your coach, Nancy?
Devora was my coach.
Wonderful. She's a great lady. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was so kind and patient, because I would get frustrated and, be just short of pulling my hair out. But I kept going, and that's the main thing.
Absolutely.
So I made good use of the resource library. That is invaluable, because what I loved about being able to go back in there is I could find the segment that I was needing, stop it, take an action, watch a little bit more, stop it again, take an action, because translating from what I'm seeing to the actions I need has to be done pretty slowly, because I don't translate that. That's just not how my mind works. I'm more global.
Yes.
So being able to do that was huge.
Nice. Okay. Very cool.
And the chat team was awesome.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they saved my bucket a couple of times.
Our support team is wonderful. It's so nice to hear. Thanks, Nancy. So here's a question for you. A lot of people, they buy a product and it sits on the shelf. Mm-hmm. What is it about you, or how did you go about this so that you used everything that you did? Because you used a lot of the program. Well,
just understanding how I learn.
Great.
Being under a lot of pressure because things were so not working.
Mm-hmm.
And I was knowing I need to make changes, and, time was running out on certain subscribed things, and I was having to make a decision. I need to streamline and consolidate and simplify. And so I saw this as an opportunity to do that, to simplify, to streamline, to get everything under one roof, so to speak,
right,
and really eliminate that challenge of spinning plates and juggling balls.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. And good for you, because it's really that kind of focus. First of all, you had a real serious why. Mm-hmm. You had a why. It's like, I heard it was like now or never.
Exactly.
and you said now. I'm so glad. That's great. Yeah. What results would you say you've realized since Easy Breezy Bootcamp? Have you grown your list? Is your website up that wasn't before? Is your free gift good, bad, and better? Clarification on your niche? You've got clients. What happened for you?
Well, one of the first things that happened is I was feeling like I needed to rebrand or rename who I am and what I do. And I didn't want to just go by my name. I wanted something that was somewhat reflective of the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. And what I'd been using beforehand was actually the title of the package that I offer.
Okay.
And so I knew that wasn't doing it. That wasn't capturing.
What was that? The title of that package?
Outrageous creativity.
Okay, which is nice, but that wasn't quite right for you and your business.
Well, certainly not as an umbrella, catchphrase. And so one of the first things that came to me, I just woke up one morning with this phrase in my head, and I sent you in my story, my blog post, I told the story of how the new name, Road Less Traveled Coaching, came about.
Nice.
And so that was an aha. So once I had that, then I could build on that. And so the homepage came together. I already had a version of my free gift, and I was able to update that and get that going. And then I got help, lining up. So one of the first things I've already noticed is people are already starting to sign up, and by using that homepage opt-in.
Yeah. And that's so cool, because once that concept for you came together of your branding, then things were much easier.
Much easier.
Yeah, the right atmosphere, the pictures, everything starts to come together. Beautiful. And your opt-in is working. I love that. Building our list is so important, right?
Yes.
So what would you say was, I don't know if you want to call it embarrassing, but what was like the biggest duh or embarrassing moment that you had during boot camp?
I think it was more frustrating than embarrassing. What was embarrassing was my reaction to my frustration.
That's always my problem too.
Before I started boot camp, I had been asked to be part of an online TV show on a particular topic and to be one of the guest speakers. And so part of the deal was making a special offer and blah, blah, blah. And so getting that hooked up for that particular event, different than my regular free gift, because we were attaching it to a package that, was more of an incentive to buy the package. And there were just so many moving parts, and we were up against a deadline. It was the day I was being featured. You know, we'd already done the recording, but this was the day it was being launched, and it wasn't working. So I sent an SOS on the chat to the team, the support team. And Stephanie came to my rescue. Woo! I was so frustrated. I was nearly in tears and just could hardly get it out of my mouth. I said, "Would you just go look at this? I can't even do it in words. Can we talk on the phone?" You know. So we talked on the phone. She was able to see what I was doing, and in maybe 10, 15 minutes, she had it up and working, and I was just so grateful. It was just
no, that's amazing.
One of the highlights.
Yeah, when you're stuck, boy, and somebody comes to your rescue, there's nothing like it. I know that feeling.
It's a real angel. Yeah.
And were you able to then do what you needed to do for this event?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Very cool. Oh, I love it.
And more things are starting to show up, which is also very exciting.
Oh, that is exciting.
Yeah.
Rock on. Whew. So what was most fun, or the biggest aha you might have had during boot camp?
Most fun? Actually, you guys.
Oh, that's cool.
You and Melinda are the kind of teachers that just make me feel good and keep me laughing at myself, and, you know, don't let me take myself too seriously. And your ability to, you know, have your own glitches and whoop-de-doos, and you say, oh, well, and you fix it on the fly. And so your candor, your integrity, your honesty, I mean, it just made the feeling of being able to trust, very much trust, and enjoy the process was very much because of the two of you. You both are just...
Oh, thanks so much. We love working together, and gosh, we love what we do, as you can tell. And yes, folks that are listening, I do own a technology company, but I'm not as technology savvy as you would think. And so, yes, I make mistakes, but I just live with it, and life goes on, right?
Yeah, and you were the one that encouraged me to go ahead and do it anyway, because I had the same attitude about myself. Technology, forget it.
Yeah, unless you absolutely can't do anything on a computer, if you've got some basic savvy with a computer, you can handle this. Now, you'll need help, and some more help than others, but we have great support, as you've said. So that's great, Nancy. I'm so glad you didn't give up. What was what was the most difficult part of Easy Breezy Boot Camp for you?
Oh, the difficult part. Probably staying on track in terms of taking it one step at a time. And even though I'm very global I need to almost have a big picture view before I can understand why I'm taking the steps I'm taking. And there were definitely parts of this journey where I didn't have a clue why I was taking the step I was taking. And I just had to trust a process that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
So
that's hard.
That was probably the biggest challenge. And like I say, if it hadn't come to me in so many different forms, and written form, I'd printed out the whole, ebook that you sent. That's it.
Cool.
Some people just go through the ebook. I would look at that and it would look like Greek.
Yeah.
I could not translate those words to anything I was seeing on the screen. So I relied very heavily on the audio and visual.
Nice. And it's nice to have both, so you can play with each. But you're right. I wouldn't be able to do that either. And we have had people that take that thing and go right through it. It's a step-by-step getting started guide. And some people can do that. Others, like Nancy and I, we need the combination of the visual, the verbal, and the written, which really supports us moving forward. That's great, Nancy. What would you say your confidence level was before the boot camp, and have you noticed a change in your confidence level and your...
Well, my confidence about what I do and how I go about it is very high. Like you, I love what I do. I know I'm in my right work. The results I'm seeing with my clients just thrills me to no end. So it's so fulfilling and so satisfying that I want to keep doing it, and I want to do more.
Yeah.
The part that I had no confidence on is certainly about marketing and getting myself out there and follow-up. The continuity of staying in touch with the people who do happen to find me. And so those are the two things I'm most excited about. And my confidence in that has gone up a whole bunch. And I hope even 3 months further down the road, it's just sailing,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. As long as you keep doing step by step by step, you can't lose. You just can't. So would you say, when you say confidence in my marketing and follow up, do you have systems now in place that you didn't have before?
I'm starting to. They're getting there.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
And like I say, part of what you were doing towards the end of boot camp was helping us to identify which marketing strategies would be best for us. And so that was really helpful.
Great.
And it just synchronistically worked out that I have 2 opportunities to either be on an online video or audio program, and now an opportunity to be part of a JV giveaway is coming up.
Nice.
So I'm going to do that and then really get consistent with putting out my newsletters.
Beautiful. Beautiful. You know, because you said the word that's the most important and everyone needs to learn it, consistency. Pick 1 or 2 things, do them consistently. If they're not working, fine, evaluate them and change, but give them several months before you make that, I better do something new. It's relaxing into the process. Good for you. Good for you. So you've completed the program. Your business is running pretty much like a well-oiled machine. You've gotten everything up and running. What's the advantage of that to you?
Peace of mind.
That's big.
And yeah, when I'm not worrying about all the, as I said, juggling balls and spinning plates, then my own creativity gets room, have space. And so I'm just thinking more clearly. I'm feeling more creative about how I want to use the Coaches Console because it has such potential. I can pretty well adapt it to how I want to teach, how I want to coach, how I want to reach out to people. It's just a really, it's going to be an ally that I didn't even realize how badly I needed.
I understand that. That was true for me as well. So you said a little bit about your next steps in marketing. So what would you map it out to be for your next steps in marketing? I know you've got these 2 opportunities. What about your regular consistency? What are you going to be doing?
Besides more consistent outreach to the tribe I already have,
right,
which is growing. And so consistent email marketing and newsletter marketing to that.
Nice.
I'm going to be doing more with Facebook.
Cool.
Because I do have a Tapping into Outrageous Creativity Facebook page. And so I'm going to make more of an effort to use that. And eventually I would like to then add in LinkedIn, but I don't want to try to do both at the same time because I have a large following in each.
Sure.
And I want to kind of develop some mastery with one before I incorporate the other. So I'd say over the next 3 to 6 months, if I can get those 3 things really going.
Nice.
I think I'll start some, and then I want to start doing some teleseminars again. I've done them in the past. They're great fun. And I want to do more live interaction.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, those are great plans. And I love the way you're taking it, again, step by step. You're not trying to overwhelm yourself and getting discombobulated and confused. That's very wise. What would you tell a newer coach who wants to be a rock star like you, like made it to the top 10? What would you tell them?
1 step at a time. That really is it. And trust the process. You have really mapped it out in a strategic way that I was definitely feeling fairly overwhelmed with information at the beginning and was a little, during that kind of energy. So I used my own tools, tapping and a few other things to keep myself calm enough to say, just take it 1 step at a time, ask the questions you need to ask. And the first thing I would say is from the beginning, make better use of your coach, your personal coach that's been assigned to you, the chat room. I think I was a little skittish about doing that. Like, I don't want to bother them. And, I'm afraid this will look stupid, I don't want them to know how much I really hate.
They don't know.
And I don't know.
I hear you.
Getting over those kinds of, internal jargon, I would just encourage people,
Beautiful.
Be in your beginner's mind.
Yeah.
And trust
the process. 1 step at a time, beginner's mind. Yeah, I love that. If a new coach came to you and said, or a newer coach said, I'm spinning my wheels, I don't quite know what to do about getting my business set up, what would you tell them?
So, hey, I found this great thing called the Coaches Console, and they do boot camp twice a year. Get in on it. And I've already told several of my colleagues.
Woohoo! I love it. Great.
Yeah.
So tell me one more time, and I want to talk about your Nancy's website is roadlesstraveledcoaching.com.
Right.
And Nancy Southern is an amazing woman, as you can already tell, one of our top winners. Take another couple of minutes and just tell me again, who out there that's listening should be contacting you?
Well, if people are in pain or suffering because something isn't working in their life, that's step one. Because that's the inner self, the body, the mind, the emotional body saying something's out of balance and I need help. And my job is to help them understand that that discomfort is the messenger. It's not the problem.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And so helping people to see it as the messenger and get clear about what the inner self, the soul, I'm very much into spiritual wisdom. So helping them see what's the soul calling that's wanting to be seen and to be heard. As they make a transition from one phase of life to another. And to make that more enjoyable for one, because when you switch from being a problem solver to a conscious creator, it's a whole lot more fun. And because I'm also an EFT practitioner, there will be blocks and barriers to that. You know, we all have them. Those safety mechanisms that we put in front of ourselves thinking it'll keep us safe. And yet they're the very things that are preventing us from creating what we really like, what we really want, what matters to us. Yeah. And so I use those kinds of energy psychology tools to help move those into stepping stones and really make good use of them.
Beautiful. So if you're finding yourself in transition and you're finding yourself a bit stuck, Nancy Southern is the woman that you should be calling. And that's roadlesstraveledcoaching.com.
Right.
Nancy, thank you so much for everything you've done, for all of the work you've put in for this boot camp. You are the kind of role model that we so love because you're following your dream and you're helping others follow theirs as well. And that, in our book with Melinda and myself, Kate, that's the most important in everything. So thank you so much for being here and sharing your experience with us.
Oh, and thank you, Kate. And thanks to Melinda, too. This has just been a joy. And we're going to have a long, healthy relationship together.
Oh, definitely. I can feel it. Thanks again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.